The story of Asma al-Assad, the wife of the ousted Syrian director Bashar al-Assad, is a tale of opulence and exile interwoven with tragedy, scandal, and political complexity. And her current plight, grappling with a serious leukemia diagnosis and facing rejection from her birthplace, Britain, provides a compelling, if somber, portrait of life unravelling on an international stage. I find the issue of her not being allowed back in Britain disturbing, partly because of the Shamima Begum issue and the idea that we can withdraw passports or withdraw citizenship in the UK. I'm not sure legally or morally we can. And it's from that point of view that I raise an eyebrow about this story. Asma was born in London in 1975 to Syrian parents, and she grew up in Acton, West London, attended prestigious schools, and later earned a degree in computer science at King's College London. Before her marriage, she built a promising career as an investment banker at J.P. Morgan, embodying the archetype of Western-educated ambition, and her marriage in 2000 to Bashar al-Assad, then newly minted as Syria's president following the death of his father, marked her transition from professional to political figure, a transition that seemed promising but soon became emired in controversy. Initially hailed as a modernizing force in Syria, Asma's image as a cosmopolitan first lady quickly tarnished as the Assad regime became synonymous with brutality, and her role during the Syrian civil war, which erupted in 2011, placed her squarely in the crosshairs of international sanctions. By 2012, both the UK and the EU had imposed travel bans and asset freezes on her personally, accusing her of complicity in propping up her husband's regime. And these sanctions legally and symbolically severed her ties to the country of her birth. Fast forward, therefore, to December 2024, today, and the Assad regime collapsed after a swift and decisive offensive by anti-regime forces, culminating in the fall of Damascus and her enforced exile to Moscow under Vladimir Putin's reluctant hospitality, where the Assads, once commanding a nation, now reside in gilded obscurity in Rubliovka or somewhere, in a gated community, which is as much a prison as it is a safety resort. Reports suggest they are tightly monitored by Russian authorities, restricting their movement, regulated to a status best described as refugees with benefits. And in the middle of this exile, Asma's health has become a focal point. Diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, her condition is reportedly dire, with only a 50% chance of survival. Her father, Fawaz Akras, a prominent cardiologist who once practiced in London's Harley Street, left his career to care for her in Moscow, yet questions about her medical treatment linger. And Western media speculate that her attempts to return to the UK for treatment were thwarted not merely by her expired passport, but by deliberate governmental decisions. The Home Secretary Yvette Cooper and Foreign Secretary David Lammy have both made unequivocal statements. Asma al-Assad is not welcome here. The technical justification, her British passport's expiry in 2020, may be convenient, but the underlying message is clear. Asma's association with one of the 21st century's most notorious regimes precludes any sympathy, even on humanitarian grounds. And rumours of personal discord compound her predicament. Recent reports claim Asma had sought a divorce from Bashar, allegedly filing papers in Moscow courts, and the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has dismissed these claims as fabrications, yet the narrative persists, and Turkish and Arabic outlets suggest she is dissatisfied with life in Russia. Well, who wouldn't be at the moment? You can't get hold of butter, a far cry from the palatial comforts of Damascus. Whether her alleged desire for a divorce is genuine or a calculated bid to curry favour with the West remains an open question. The initial reaction to her plight is predictably polarised, and critics argue that her years of loyalty to Bashar, Her complicity in his regime's atrocities render her undeserving of clemency. Others, however, contend that denying her medical treatment, even to a figure as polarizing as Asma, sets a troubling precedent conflating political culpability with basic human rights. What is certain is that Asma al-Assad's story underscores the far-reaching consequences of political downfall. Once a symbol of modernity and sophistication, now she stands as a cautionary tale of hubris and moral compromise. And her exile in Moscow, alongside her deteriorating health, as Moscow and Russia claims to have brand new and brilliant cancer treatment, her strained family ties mirror the broader collapse of the Assad regime, with uncles and nephews caught in attempting to flee Syria on fake passports. A stark reminder that no fortress, however fortified, is immune to the tides of history. And ultimately, evil is exposed. Asma's case encapsulates the tragic intertwining of personal and political. Her struggle with leukemia, her fraught attempts to return to her birthplace, and the broader implications of her exile paint a picture that is as much about the individual as it is about the systems she once represented. Whether she survives this ordeal or succumbs to her illness, her legacy, like that of her husband, will remain indelibly linked to one of the most turbulent chapters in modern Middle Eastern history.